Now I think you should be able to hear me better.
Yes, all good. Hello, Edu.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Good. All right. So I really, I gave 2 links for anyone who is listening now, which I guess is just you, Bianca, because it says 0 viewers on the other one. I gave 2 links, one to join here and the other one for the YouTube channel. Let me just answer there. Now we have Mr. Kesena here. Hello, Kes. How are you doing?
Good, good, good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So then I guess we can start. Anyway, this whole thing is going to be recorded. So you're going to be kind of like representing the whole plenary with questions and everything. And then we're gonna upload this. And if it's not clear enough, then we'll see if we can make another webinar next week. Everyone, both of you can hear me well, right?
Yes, yes. I have now, like, Ioana wants to join. She's on YouTube, and I told her to join the Hangouts.
Just send her the link, the second link. Perfect. Ioana is here.
YouTube is slower.
Yeah, there's a lag between what I say here and YouTube. And then apparently people can post questions, but I don't know where I would see them, because Regina is asking me that she cannot join in Hangouts, but she can see the YouTube one, and she's asking if she can post questions, but I don't know if I see them there. I have a chat box, so I don't know. Let's try. Regina, try posting questions, and then I'll see if they show up here. I think they should. Cool. All right. Then I'm going to start now, guys. I'm going to share my screen with you, and please feel free to ask any questions. I'm going to go first through the overview of how the spreadsheet is built, and then from there we can go with like, if you have any questions, just interrupt me. Okay. So now you should be able to see the PDP template that I shared with you.
Yes, we see it.
Okay. Yeah. So in essence, whatever I was explaining on the summit last time, it didn't change a lot. Like, the content is pretty much the same. I just adapted it. I wanted to make it a little bit more clear. I added a few more notes, but pretty much the essence of the template stays the same. And I also adapted it to our timeline. So we have here the start tab, which is like the first one where you are kind of getting to know, like, you're assessing the team member or whoever you're coaching at the beginning. And we have here the LDA part. So you're putting here the results, and this is your starting point, right? Then you put here, it already says area twice, actually, I'm just realizing now, but I actually need this one, right? Like this one. We can already erase this part, actually. While I will explain later why this is important. Just choose the area, and we have for B2C, B2B, B2E. For other areas, if you have any other customized areas, or for example, for BA, we can arrange that later on the template. I will explain later also why. Yeah, so then we have the career plan here inside ISEC and outside of ISEC. I will also send you this. We went through it during the summits. It's just kind of like a small guide, like a set of guiding questions and how you go through those things. So this is also going to be attached next to the template. So it's pretty much going through what are the objectives inside of ISEC and outside of ISEC. And again, the template has space for 3, but this doesn't mean that you need to have 3. So remember that this is a template that is supposed to help you. So there is no like a super strict guideline that whether like there is nothing that is 100% correct or 100% incorrect. So this is for you to put the information of your member here. Then we have the SWOT analysis of the member. And this is again based on the guiding questions that you ask him or her. You have the competences here. I didn't put a lot of, I didn't mention a lot the competences during the summit. In fact, I said that we were going to skip them. So what is the idea on the competences? We already have a set of competences chosen. If you go to this link that is there, I adapted them a little bit, included examples on how to track them. Remember that we're only working, especially with the core competences, we are working with level 0, level 1, and level 2, right? Which is team member, team leader, and LCVP. What does this mean? This means that you need to stick to that level of the competence. For example, if you're tracking a team member, then you are going only through level 0. And what you're assessing is that you have, if these sentences make sense to the member, for example, if the member is using relevant past data to assess situations and draw logical conclusions, and if you think that this is 100% aligned with what the member is doing, then you put a 5 on the assessment, which is here. You don't see it on the start because on the start it's just like you don't have anything to assess yet, so it's only listing you the competences. So for example, when you will go to the monthly one, you are putting it, for example, here as a 5. If you see that that does not apply to the member at all, then you put a 1. Now, obviously, we go here to the conversation that this is a subjective rank, definitely. Like there is nothing that I can tell you that will tell you this will be a 1, this will be a 2, this will be a 3. This is a competence assessment done by the team leader about the team member. And obviously, the competence assessment is based on the statements of this spreadsheet, right? So you're kind of like assessing the member based on these statements. Yes, then you have I already went through the SWOT analysis of the member. And then you define the terms objectives. So we have space on the template for 2 terms objectives. And again, that doesn't mean that you need to have 2. It can also be only 1. I just added a space for 1 more. And these are numerical, right? So these are based purely on KPIs that the member will have. So the idea is that you have a whole terms objective, and then you have the KPIs underneath. And then I even included some examples for objectives there. So I included, for example, objective, I don't know, be the first member to reach 50 lecture presentations in 1 term, or having the highest number of opens in my team, like things like that. And then you have KPIs per objective that are like, how do you say that? They're co-determined between the team leader and the team member. And this is pretty much it for the start part of the spreadsheet. So before we move on to another part, maybe we can open for some questions, or if something is not clear. Anyone?
Yeah, I wanted to ask, so for this assessment of the competencies, is the team leader the one who assesses it, or asks the member like, hey, how do you think you're doing here?
Okay. So about that, it's the team leader completely. But the team leader can choose to ask additional questions in order to do that. But whenever you read the statements, normally you don't need extra additional questions to ask about that, because if I go through the model, I'm going to share my screen with you again. That's why I included the examples on how to track it, because sometimes you asking the member about these things is not going to give you the best answer. So that's why it's important to just know what the competence is about, and then based on that, you can put on your conclusion. So for example, you have for data saving, the official statement according to the competence model says using relevant past data to assess situations and draw logical conclusions. And then I put examples on how to track it. So member understands performance management tools, results, and consults it on a regular basis. So for example, if you have a member that is checking their own performance, or if you have a member that is checking expa and is aware of what the results of him or herself are, then you know that you have a 5, right? Then you know that you have an ideal member on this specific competence at this specific level. And then I did in general for most of them. I still need to complete for the other ones, like what are the possible examples and how to track it. Now, if I'm being very honest with you, the ones that I'm having some trouble with on how to assess are the hard ones, the self-reflection ones, because those I don't think that it's that easy to assess from the team leader on how to track this. Because, for example, on level 0 for a member, it would be has high moral standards and demonstrates integrity in actions, or has clarity about personality and achievements of oneself. So those are things that are a little bit more personal, and they're meant to be done through self-reflection. So those are the things that I will update you, whether there should be a set of guiding questions, or maybe done through a lead space or whatever, or maybe leaving that to the team member to do it. But for now, I don't have a clear answer on how to work specifically with these ones, with self-reflection. For the other ones, for hand, it's actually even easier, because these are based purely on the functional area, right? So these are based purely on, if you go to marketing, for example, is the team member able to choose the right research method, what data to gather, and provide analysis of market, able to generate simple marketing plan based on the analysis. So these are things that team leaders can already assess of their team members, and they can already put the ranking there. Now, what is the point of all this? Like, obviously, we're not going to have aligned results, and we're not going to have super accurate results when we're assessing these things, but at least we're already going to have a direction on what are the things that we're looking for in our people, and we're already going to have a better idea also on how to build an education cycle also based on these competences. So this is the whole point, or like, at least right now, when we're starting to switch from not having anything to having this, it's like slowly we're going to develop this competence model, and slowly we're going to develop what are the things that we want to see in our team members. Cool. Anyone else? Okay, I got a question from Regina here that says, for the KPI, does it state like, for example, the number of lecture presentations for the whole semester, or just lecture presentation? You mean on this part? Yeah, so the idea for this part is that if the objective for the member is to have, I don't know, like being the member that does the most lecture presentations, and on KPI, you don't need to put just the number, you can put whatever in there. Like, this is not connected to any type of formula, so you can just put like, I don't know, lecture presentation, like amount of lecture presentations, I don't know. So this is up to you. This is not connected to any particular formula. This is not to be confused with the performance management tools. Cool. If there are no more questions about this part, I'm just going to go back here and see if... Okay, Joanna says she doesn't have any questions. Okay. Cool. Then we're going to move to the monthly part. So now for the monthly part, what I added into the spreadsheet is, well, first we have all these terms objective. And then here's, you have the area, right? You have the area and you have the month. The month you need to choose like according to the tab. So here, for example, would be May. And what is the idea? Why I wanted to do it like this? Because you have here, this is a formula for focus of the area. And my idea on having it like this is to help team leaders on knowing what is happening with the area in this month. So I connected this part to another spreadsheet that we will have on the MC. For example, I think I still have it. I have it here. And for example, if I go to B2B, IGET, I put it here. And in May, I would put, imagine this is a spreadsheet that the MC will have, right? And the idea is that here we're going to put the focus of May. So I'm in the spreadsheet for B2B for May. And then I would put, I don't know, this is the focus for May. And this is our own spreadsheet, right? The idea is that while putting this, it will show up in every PDP. So I chose B2C here, but I can change it to B2B because I wrote it under B2B. So at the beginning, if you put the area B2B and you write May, then ideally here should show the area. Okay. All right. I don't know why it's not showing now. Should be there. This is the focus for May. Okay, anyway, I'll cross-check the formulas, but here it's supposed to show like the message that the MC is writing on this one. Here, on the focus for the area, it's supposed to appear on the spreadsheet. Here. Damn it, I'm getting lost on so many spreadsheets. Yeah, and here you have the assessment of the competences. You have the assessment of the competences here. And again, it's based subjectively, but based on the model that is there, right? So you have here, you can put for agility, for growth, for empathy, based on what is written there. Again, stay tuned for the hard part of it, like this might be done later through self-reflection or whatever. Or if you want to have your own way of assessing it, then that's also up to you. So we're providing you with a template. Here, on the hand part, you have hand persona and hand functional skills. If you go to the competence model spreadsheet, you see that we already have them there. And the reason that it's not on the template, it's because you're supposed to put them there depending on the area that the team member is going to be doing. So you're supposed to copy them there. So for example, if I know that I'm working with a member in marketing, then I would put insights and championing the customer in here, right? So here I put insights and here I put championing the customer, and that's it. And then for functional skills, again, I go to the template and then I put here for functional skills, all the ones that are for marketing, right? And again, these are subjectively assessed by the team leader. Cool. Then we have next steps, and next steps is like what is supposed to get you closer to your objective of the term. And again, this is why we have this focus of the area part, because you're going to have what are going to be the KPIs that are going to be focusing on. And you can base it on that. And you can also base it obviously on the plan that the LC has. So the idea is that the team leader is going through, okay, what are going to be the steps so that you get closer to that. It's kind of like something that you have, that you can look back at when you're having meetings with a team member. And then here is more to get some inputs on what are the things that the team member the team member wants to learn, so in order to get closer to that goal. And then later, based on the strengths of the team member, how can he get there? All this is also, remember that we went through the guiding questions, so you can also see all these questions. You can also see them here. You have here a guide on how you can ask and how you can, what are the things that can get you closer there. And then you have here feedback. So this is something that is a little bit different to how I explained it on the summit, because now we divided it into parts. We have feedback of myself and we have feedback on coach. So feedback of myself is nothing more than the member is going to go through the start, the stop, improve, continue, and of him or herself, and yeah, and you're just going to put it here, and then it's doing the same for the coach. Then we have the performance review, which is pretty much the same of the month, except it has some additional tabs that you're connecting from the performance management tool, which is pretty much what KPIs, the KPIs, how they were planned, how they were achieved, and the percentage of achievement. And then you also go through development goals again, planned and achieved. And this is nothing more than to have a talk once every 2 months, having a talk of what is the current performance of the member. Then you have a review of the meeting with the team leader, and then you have the feed forward from the team leader as well, and main learnings from the past 3 months, and you have steps for the next quarter. Well, in this case, should be for the next 2 months. So we're not doing this, because doing this quarterly means that we only get to do this once if we go through the cycle of our team members. So this I need to change still. Cool. And then we have the debrief, which is pretty much a connection from the start to the like pretty much you're seeing what changed from this meeting that you're doing at the end, and that's it. Good. So then that's pretty much the overview of the template. So as you know, we're going to be starting using this for the first time. So any feedback or anything that you think that needs to be changed or anything that is not clear, you can just tell me and then we can work on that. I don't know if you have any questions or any inputs. I'm going to see here if anyone is typing something.
I wanted to ask something, because like this is something that I have been struggling with a lot. Like if you do this and if you use this template with the members, yeah. They should not necessarily have access to it, right? Or not should, but it's not. Or how do you envision this working? Because like, for example, if I have my B2B team leader having a PDP template for each of the members, how will this, like what is discussed there, be transmitted to them? Like, should they write something down somewhere, or should?
Yeah, ideally for this, there's supposed to be a tool that is helping the team leader to assess how the team member is doing. I personally think that if the team member wants to see it, the team member can see it, but it's not meant for that. Like it's a tool for the team leader rather than from the team member. Why? Because you're pretty much putting the output of the conversations, you're putting them there, right? Like you're not doing anything, you're not putting anything that is secret to the team member, right? Like it's just a place where you can put the output of your coaching talks. And this is why I want to be clear that it's not like a spreadsheet where you're making like conclusions about the member. It's more like a spreadsheet where you're kind of like taking the minutes of the coaching talk. So if you understand that it's a place, it's a part where you're putting the output of what is happening with this coaching talk, then I don't see why the member should not be able to see it. But I also don't see why like it's not something that is super necessary that you're sending to the team member. It's more like it's a tool. Let's see it as a tool to take minutes from the coach to the coachee. Regina is asking the percentage, how much a member has achieved their goal is only measured every 2 months. For the coaching meeting, yes, but obviously this does not replace performance management tools, which is like this planned achieve. For example, if you have, I don't know, like working with any KPI, like number of info stands held, and you have plan achieved, and you have your tool that goes weekly, and the team leader is going with the whole team through the results of the tool, and the team leader does this weekly, then that's fine. You keep that weekly. But the idea is to have the talk about performance happens every 2 months. So this does not replace any performance management tools. Regina says, in the performance review tab, there is a space for every month. So I put the numbers there after every month, after every monthly talk. Let's go through that. I'm going to share my screen with you again. Here. Yeah, so you can, why I put them like this is so that you can pretty much just export them from your performance management tool and put them here. So this means that the only thing that you're doing here is you're exporting from the performance management tool, and then you're talking about it, and that's it. Like, again, see it as a place where you're taking the minutes. So you went like, in these KPIs, we plan this and you achieve this for the month of February, and so on, right? And then you just talk about it. You just talk about what is the reason why have these things were achieved or not, and that's it. One thing that I skipped that I'm realizing now that I forgot to mention is the self-assessment part. We were talking about it during the TM Summit. Self-assessment was asked in a survey before, like if you ever filled out the member survey, there was you so probably remember these questions. The idea now is to go through them so that the team member is talking about this, about his own perception on how he achieved the goals. Sorry, not achieved the goals, but like what's engaged or not during this time period. And by the way, obviously it's also clear that this is a template and that you can change these things. For example, you see now here that it includes February, March, April. Feel free to change this depending on what is the timeline that you're using, right? Because, for example, here it says this is the June plus performance review, and you can just change here according to the appropriate month that you would like to assess. Cool. Anything else? Anything about the competence model? About the timeline for this? So the idea is that we're already starting to use this to having these talks, like already starting, like the idea is you go to the template, you make a copy here, and when you make the copy, then you already start using it for yourself and see how that works out for you. If you haven't had this, because we were talking also about it during this last summit, that some people already had these talks with their members. The idea is that whatever talk you had and that whatever thing that happened that didn't happen in that talk, you just complete it for this talk, and then later you can already go for the monthly one. So this means the one that is supposed to happen in May, that you can do that either at the end of April or at the beginning of May. And then we're going to get feedback from you, and we're going to see how that works out, and then we're also going to adapt the templates appropriately. Cool. From my side, the thing that I realized now that I need to fix, I don't know why it was working yesterday when I was trying it out. This thing with the focus areas, right? Like the idea is that this is supposed to be like a communication tool from MC side, so that you can see what are the focus of the areas, right? So you can see, for example, I think this one was working. This is the one that I was using. So this is focus, and this one, and then in every single PDP, if you're putting here that your area is B2E, and you go through, let's say that you put here April, which is where I put it. Yes, you get the message here. So I don't know why it's not working with all months. I will check that out. But yeah, that's the plan. The plan is that you would also have a guidance there on what are the things that you would focus on in this month. And again, when it comes to these kind of tools, because they're new and we're just starting to implement them, feel free to improvise as well. Because these are just tools, right? Like the important thing is that you understand the concept, that is communication member to team leader. You understand the concept, and then you use these tools in your advantage. So don't try to make it the other way around, which is that you try to do your coaching based on the tools, but it's like the other way, right? You're using the tools to support you. knowing what you want out of this coaching meeting. Great. Okay, so then if there are no more questions, then I will stop now, or you can still write them if you have something, or you can still unmute yourself if you have something. And yeah, feel free to send me feedback on this. And otherwise, that's it.
No more questions from my side. Thank you, Edu.
Okay, thank you. So then, see you, Joanna, Kes, and Regina, who is watching there, and probably someone else as well. See you guys. Have a good day.
Bye. You too.
I just want to say bye to Edu.
Oh, there they are. I just saw them. So, you get really slow in so many screens. Anyway, see you guys. This will be posted on your YouTube channel so you can see it again.